Exactly, fucking idiot.
Blimey, would you egg and bacon it? I weren't too sure if this fight was going to have the same appeal after the fallout and 2.5 years of absolute bumfluffery, but the very second Eubank Jr sat down, he decided to remind everyone that yes, this is still very much a blockbuster.
The fight was announced.
Eddie,
It was the...
you know I don't like you, right? What on God's sweet green earth makes you think I'm going to sit here and listen to any of...
No one's even like, what do you want, a violin?
The sickening thing about this situation is, Conor, you had it.
I have it. You don't have it.
You had it.
No, I have it.
You had
Your career's
everything.
done.
It's going to be.
He's going to put it on you, mate, and I'm so confident, so confident, mate.
Good.
When you
Nigel, what in Conor's career gives you the confidence that he's gonna beat Chris?
What gives me the confidence? Because I know my boy. He's got my DNA, but much better.
He's not even for a British level.
No. Listen.
Ben,
Hold on.
No,
Let me finish. I didn't fight for a British title.
But you fought above British and European
But
level.
28, Ben.
You fought.
What, you don't know nothing
at
about
28
this?
years old. At 28 years old, Chris Eubank Jr was further than this.
So yes, what we saying? It was a blinding press conference, weren't it? I mean, they did waffle on a little bit about the bollocky rehydration clause and all that, and I think we're still a bit in the dark about what the exact numbers are, but it does look like Eubank was paid very well to be slightly restricted once again. Don't get me wrong, I doubt he'll come in looking like Paula fucking Radcliffe as he did last time, but it does sound like he's still at a disadvantage with the fight day limit. However, as we know, Conor is at a disadvantage as well with so much inactivity of late. Yes, that's all his own fault, of course, but this combined with having to come up 2 weight divisions to meet Eubank in the middle means on paper this little ditty is rather evenly matched, you'd have to say. Not to mention Conor's never competed at world level and Eubank's always fallen short against the fully fit world level opponents, so it really could be the flip of a coin. Now, some of the highlights of the presser were of course the Eubank and Eddie argument at the start, then Edward trying to get the better of old Ben Shalom again, then Eubank calling Conor an omelette. That was a fucking blinder.
I've been meaning to ask you for a long time, it's interested me. How many eggs did you have to eat to fail those 2 drugs tests? You dirty
The reality is...
Please tell me.
But one thing that did perk up our eardrums was Eubank sticking it on Ben about the so-called clearance.
Reality is, I've been cleared 3 times by the NADP, by the WBC, by UCAD, by the way, which people are a lot smarter than you. Number 1, I've been cleared. You will never be cleared of being a wanker. Period. That's it.
So, when you say you've been cleared, what does that mean?
I'm cleared of people by a lot smarter than you.
What does it mean?
You have the IQ of a 5-year-old child.
Does that mean that the drugs weren't in your system?
I've been cleared. Done.
There you go.
That's it. No, you keep going on, but I've been
The
cleared.
entire public wants to know why
that's the truth.
there were performance-enhancing drugs in your system, and all you and Eddie can come up with
do your research.
after 2.5 years
do your research.
He's been cleared. We can't say how or why.
Do your research.
But he's been cleared. It's okay.
Well, I would like to say...
Now, it was to be expected this would get brought up, and a lot of us boxing fans have actually wanted the answer to this exact question for a very long time. If you are innocent, does that mean the drugs weren't in your system? But sadly, and probably as anticipated, he didn't want to answer it. Anyway, we ain't getting into that now because I can't be fucking bothered. Either way, we are here, and thanks to the first presser, we are absolutely double pumped up. Ain't no yoking around anymore, people. Sorry, I had to throw one egg joke in there, didn't I? You know how it is. Never mind me, though. You should see all the comments. Bloody hell, egg was trending last night on fucking Twitter. I saw someone called Ben Shalom, Ben Shalomlet. Fucking hell. Kieran, do you reckon he knew Chris had them eggs in his pocket? Who knows? He probably fucking did, to be fair, didn't he? Anyway, let's talk about that infamous egg slap, blimey. Very out of character for old Eubank. Outside the ring, it's probably the first time we've seen him do anything physical like this. However, believe me, I'm not condoning it, but I don't think we should be too surprised this happened. There is an argument to say Conor was kind of asking for it a little bit. Hold up, let me explain. Not only do we take into account last time where Eubank was drained down to a dangerous weight and Conor failed not 1 but 2 VADA tests. Yes, okay, Chris signed the contract for that weight limit, but still with Conor coming in apparently enhanced against Chris, who would have been at his weakest, ultimately that could have been seriously dangerous. But even more so, the first words out of Conor's mouth barely minutes into the first presser was slagging off Chris's relationship with his dad.
Listen, Chris can say what he wants. The bottom line is, his dad don't even like him. You could not pay that man enough money to sit in this man's corner. Now that's an accomplishment, Chris. That's an accomplishment. Well done. The most unlikable geezer on the planet. Even your dad don't like you.
Baby.
Man, drop the mic.
Yeah, that's not really on, is it? You don't go digging people's family out, bruv. That's a line you just don't cross. I mean, by the way, Chris was no angel in the Smith fight talking about his bird. That was way below the belt as well. But anyway, back to this scenario. And yes, putting it all together, you could say it's not a massive surprise he ended up getting a slap. And by the way, it was a proper bitch slap, weren't it? Bloody hell, like a 1950s dad whacking his son after he's broken a window. A sort of young man, how fucking dare you slap, bosh. Oh, and then Nigel sneakily slipped round the side and grabbed him by the throat. Oh yes, he's still a bruiser, old Nigel. He's reliving his rise of the foot soldier days, isn't he? Think of all the egg he's caused you, Nige. Actually, talking about that, a few news outlets have gone with the narrative shocking moment. Nigel Benn grabs Chris Eubank Jr. by the throat, whereas the Irish Sun went with the headline, he deserved the embarrassment. I mean, yes, it's up to you whether you feel it's fair game or not what Chris did, but anyway, I get to see all the different sides through the means of the brilliant Ground News. Yes, Ground News is a nifty website and app that has revolutionised how you get your news, giving you an easy, data-driven and objective way for you to read it. Now, from over 50,000 sources across the world, Ground News will gather the relevant and related articles all in one place so you can compare how the same story is covered by different outlets. But of course, Ground News isn't just for the politics fanatics, no, it's also for the sports fanatics as well, especially us avid boxing fans. And best of all, chaps, we're currently offering a whopping 40% off their Vantage plan, which gives you unlimited access to all their superb features. You can only get the deal by going to ground.news/proper or clicking the link in the video description below. Or of course, make life really easy for yourself. Scan the QR code that's all up in your grill right now. Yes, lovely stuff. So subscribe to Ground News today for the same price as your favourite coffee and help support an independent platform working to make the media landscape more transparent and hold them accountable. Link below. Now, where were we? Anywho, I'll tell you what though, I can't quite believe it. Some people are up in arms about all this. They're going, oh, it's outrageous. People ringing up TalkSport, oh, it's disgusting. Eddie Hearn said it's bang out of order, it could have blinded him. And I mean, really? He's a fucking egg. It weren't a brick, was it?
Yeah. When you actually physically start slapping people and smashing eggs on the face and all that, it's too much.
Good morning, gentlemen. A nice show as usual.
Thank you.
I thought it was absolutely disgusting. The promoters are a disgrace. I was really, really annoyed with what was an absolute shambles. And why bother with the press conference? I like the pushing and shoving. I like the banter. It's good, but that was a disgrace.
You didn't like the egg thing, did you?
No, obviously I know both guys, but I'm a friend of Conor, so I thought it was a little bit distasteful.
It is not really acceptable to be smashing an egg in someone's face because that is just about someone's safety.
Yeah, I think it's a sorry state of affairs that we've become so fucking wet these days that an egg is considered a dangerous weapon that could blind people. I mean, come on, ain't we seen this sort of thing a million times? Remember what David A did to Tony Bellew, throwing an actual punch? That was 100 times worse, but nobody gave a monkeys. Oh, I don't know, it all seems a bit fannyish to me. I mean, they're fighters in an entertainment sport and they're about to step in the ring and try and knock each other unconscious, so I don't quite get the uproar about all this, I'm sorry to say, just my personal opinion. And oh yeah, the Border Control have now banned these two from having a face-off, and it's like, oh bloody hell, you're so fucking boring. Kill the vibe, why don't you? Why not just let them face off with security nearby? We'd still like to hear what they got to say to each other. Anyway, on a separate note, we got to talk about Eddie Hearn, ain't we? Yes, the old school bullies at it again. Nelson Hearn and Ralph Shalom, innit? I mean, he had Eubank, Team Eubank and 10 bouncers, and he went for little baby Ben. It's like Big John all over again. Load of big blokes to start on, and he headbutts fucking Tintin. I can't lie though, I'm starting to enjoy the Eddie and Ben relationship. It's like a love-hate double act. They got this kind of Laurel and Hardy thing going on.
Know about it.
No, you know I didn't know.
No, I don't, because I think you're a little bit snaky.
No, you know what I didn't know. Don't talk.
No, be quiet.
No, you can't say things.
No, stop, because then I'll take you for... Listen, I've been very nice to you lately.
You can't say things.
And I've been very nice to you lately. I've given you a big education the last couple of weeks. I've told you were very lucky to be talking to me. Right.
But yes, ultimately, like it or lump it, outside the ring, there's no question these two together are a match made in boxing heaven. This has got Hey Bellew vibes, Frotch Groves vibes, possibly even with a little bit more hatred sprinkled on top. And I bet old Benny boy won't be complaining about that egg in the face when he receives his paycheck after the fight. Oh no, I reckon this little stunt has just turned a domestic dust-up between two beneath world level opponents into an absolute monster. And it's probably added an extra 0 to the total number of pay-per-view buys. I feel like if old Eubank was on a set set fee, I don't know if he'd bother going to these lengths just to embarrass Conor. It's more likely he's getting a cut of them pay-per-views, and if so, he's certainly just bumped up his paycheck. Bearing in mind, this may be one of his last.